You're listening to the Arkansas AgCast, where we discuss the latest news, trends, and issues impacting Arkansas farmers and ranchers. Our show is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation and hosted by Rob Anderson and Jason Brown.
Alrighty, good Thursday afternoon, Jenny. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Robert.
Another exciting Jenny edition.
I know.
Did anyone hear us talking before the stream started?
We were so silent in here. We were so quiet. It was ridiculous.
And or also, is the sound coming through right now is the next follow-up.
I don't know
if anyone's hearing us or seeing us right now.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you can hear the sound, comment for us. I can see us. Oh, the views are going crazy. They must see Jenny. They must see Jenny return to the podcast, and this just go off the charts.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, no comments.
Maybe if our boss could comment that he can hear us, that would be great.
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we are live.
Off to a strong start.
Off to a very strong start.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
speaking of comedy and ridiculousness, we got Filthy Farm Jobs premiering.
I've heard some rumblings about this in the hallway, Rob. Tell me. I haven't put all the pieces together. Will you tell me?
You haven't noticed? Well, Filthy Farm Jobs, we started that, has it been a year? I guess it's been about a year.
Yeah,
ago.
last year, I think.
It's been a year. It started last year.
Well, we have a new season of that where we send some people, office types around here at Farm Bureau and others, special guests this season, out to a farm to do some pretty filthy work. And we're kicking off this new season with the one and only Stanley Hill.
Oh, wow.
Right here.
Okay.
Right here from Farm Bureau's top.
The most popular man at Farm Bureau, arguably.
Top guy in policy here, Stanley Hill. Everybody knows his name. Everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
At least in agriculture. And,
what job did he
state
do?
Capital. Well, he was cleaning some grain bins.
Oh, that's...
It's like a dusty job.
Yeah.
It's like...
filthy or dusty.
I talked to him earlier.
Dusty farm job.
Saw him in the hall.
Has he recovered?
Yeah, I think he's doing all right. I'm not sure he's recovered from the reaction he's getting, the teasing he's taking from.
That's what you get when you do something with us, though. But it's like
that's the nature.
Take some pride in it.
But you know what? I mean, it really does take a lot of guts, a lot of moxie to get out there and do one of these jobs and realize that, the purpose of the series is sort of infotainment. Yeah. We're teaching you in an entertaining way. We're teaching people about agriculture, so you're going to be kind of
inside look at what they have to, what goes on a farm.
Yeah.
And, we're just trying to entertain a little bit.
Did you have a favorite moment? I haven't seen this yet. So did you have a favorite moment?
It's Stanley. So there's a lot of good faces, a lot of good groans, and reaction shots, Stanley wiping sweat away dramatically. So.
I don't believe about the. Well, here's the real question.
In a full suit, by the way.
I was going to ask. You read my mind. Is he wearing
no farm
actual farm, clothes for working?
Not appropriate at all.
He's got to be ready to lobby 24/7.
Just straight suit. Oh my gosh. Well, props to you, Stanley, for that because I bet that's entertaining. I know what I'm doing right after the show. Well, we also have Arkansas Ag Hall of Fame nominations, which are open.
We've talked about that, and it's still open until November 1st.
Yeah, so we'll continue talking about it for the rest of this month, but such an honor to bring folks forward for this every year.
Right.
Our Farm Bureau team is well involved in this, and please make your nominations at ArkansasAgHallOfFame.org. If you're interested, there are some archived episodes, if you will, of this podcast in a previous form with last year's honorees. So check that out.
Good interviews.
Yeah.
Ballot Issues, that's something we've been talking a lot about lately.
Yeah, several of us have been traveling to annual meetings, policy development meetings, talking about these issues that are coming up on November 8th.
Well, it's coming up. We have particular policy that references the issues, issue 1, issue 2, issue 3. It's no on issue 1.
I think it's
issue 1,
4.
2, and 4.
Yeah. Is it 4?
Yeah, it is 4. That may be a typo.
Yeah, you're right. 4.
It's 4.
That's right, because
I'm sorry.
4 is the cannabis, whatever.
Recreational, yeah.
Yeah, marijuana.
Yeah.
No on issue 1, yes on issue 2, and no on issue 4.
Yeah. You can find additional details.
That's the Farm Bureau official policy positions on these ballot issues, and you can find them on the website.
More details on the website, arfb.com. If you're interested in just reading just a straight information, no policy observations, arcalect.com, I believe.
Arcalect is where you can just find information on candidates and issues, just the straight ahead information. But like I said, we have a page on our arfb.com. You'll see there's a little call out for it where you can get all the information on our positions on those ballot issues. Yeah, exactly. I think rounding out just our opening block of information is the note that registration is open for American Farm Bureau Convention that will be held January 6th through 11th in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We'll certainly have... We'll be here before we know it.
A delegation going down from both staff and board members and, of course, members as well. So you can find information at American Farm Bureau's website. I'm sure we'll have it up soon on ours and be talking about it in social media as well. So any other...
It's been a busy time, busy couple of weeks. I know they had the Arkansas Youth Expo wrapped up in Fayetteville this week. That was yesterday, in fact. Closed out with the governor speaking to the kids, doing the it's a very lively livestock show. They have a lot of. It's a fun environment up there. I know we had some people up there, meeting some of the kids who were showing their livestock and. But the governor spoke to them. Dan Wright, our secretary treasurer on our board, he was up there and spoke to the kids. But it's I think it was in the 4th year of this maybe. It's a big thing up there, and the kids I know had a lot of fun. So that wrapped up this week. There's just been a lot going on. You get the fair right around the corner and that livestock show. So
yeah, we have been planning our podcast show from the fair. Mm-hmm. Still working on details for that. We'll certainly be letting you know more information about that next week, I guess. And yeah, Jenny, do you have any info on or intel on the fair? I know what you're thinking about.
Well, food and also just happy to be here, just in general. Fair. I don't have the official dates on me, but I do know that the livestock shows start up on like the 8th or the 9th. Yeah. And they'll run through the entire fair. So if you get a chance, we encourage you to go stop by and support those kids because they're trying to receive scholarship money and things like that for showing their animals. So something
else, I'm going to say this because I think they'll be cool with it, but we were with the folks at Cattlemen's from Cattlemen's Association. Yeah. And learned that they have taken over the pork chop shop there at the fairgrounds and will be serving beef there. I would imagine. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast certainly will involve bacon and eggs too, but they're pretty excited about that. Ribeye sandwiches, cheeseburgers. I mean, and they're pretty stoked about that.
What's really neat is we sponsor the ag teacher tent. So all the ag teachers that come through, we provide meals for them. And we also have giveaways as well. So it's just really neat to see everyone come together and really support the state fair. And, that's one of our biggest events to support in the state. So.
And we'll be all over the place out there. We'll probably be out there to try some of the food a little early.
Yeah. We're going to be on THV11 The Vine.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have segments for that, too.
We'll be live out there, and I think that's Thursday, the livestock show and sale. So, a lot more to come on that. We'll talk more about that next week.
Yeah.
And like you said, our live appearance out there.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, let's dig in. Speaking of Dan Wright, how's that for a segue?
There we go.
We're going to talk about another speaking opportunity he had this week. We'll kick off the show with an exciting update on legislation that Arkansas Farm Bureau has been working on for several years, the state meat inspection program. Earlier this week, Governor Hutchinson was joined by the Arkansas Ag Department, producers, and Arkansas Farm Bureau at the state capitol to celebrate a keystone moment for Act 418, which became state law in March of last year. The program has officially been approved by the USDA, making a monumental market opportunity for the state's livestock and poultry producers. Act 418 was developed to address the need for additional processing in the state, a point that was amplified by the pandemic. Before this legislation, only 3 of the state's processing facilities were USDA certified, and now that number has doubled to 6. As the governor and more working on that process. As the governor pointed out on Tuesday, this new program will allow for more processors and new market opportunities for cattle ranchers across the state. Arkansas Farm Bureau Secretary Treasurer Dan Wright spoke at the event and noted how big a deal this program is for Arkansas producers, saying that consumers are increasingly interested in purchasing locally produced protein, and this law allows that to happen. Representative Deanne Vaught of Horatio was also there. She spoke and led the way as a sponsor of the legislation in the House. I believe Senator Ricky Hill led that on the Senate side. She added the specific benefit of food banks and senior citizens, food banks and senior centers having the ability to offer local protein. I think there were representatives from the food bank there as well. Just really a great opportunity for livestock and poultry producers all around.
It was an important announcement that we've been waiting on, and it's good to see that program up and going.
Yeah, for sure.
So, moving from the meat to some crop news, 2022 crop year has been a time of fairly high commodity prices, but also record high input prices, and this has led to a lot of discussion about how to make farm programs more responsive to a changing financial landscape where things are happening pretty quickly. Brandy Carroll from our Commodity and Regulatory Affairs team and a former guest on this show.
Yeah, I know her.
Has produced a report on this issue and the ongoing discussions around margin protection considerations for the 2023 Farm Bill. In fact, it's going into something called the Ag Insider.
Okay.
I'll talk more about that in a minute. This is the first one, but we've got it together, some highlights from her analysis. USDA recently reported that 2022 represents the highest ever year-to-year increase in production costs, with farm production expenses increasing 18% in 1 year. High commodity prices mean program payments are less likely to be triggered in most cases, and farmer margins, revenue after expenses, will be very, very narrow. Discussion of the 2023 Farm Bill and how best to address the needs of farmers has already begun, which is, again, what prompted this analysis. And, as Congress considers how to support farmer profitability and ensure U.S. remains food secure, Arkansas farmers have an opportunity to have direct input in the drafting of the Farm Bill. Senator John Bozeman is the ranking member of the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry. He, and along with Chairwoman Debbie Stabenow, recently sent a letter to Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack and the Risk Management Agency, USDA Risk Management Agency's Marcia Bunger, requesting, and I may be brutalizing that name, I don't know, requesting the agency look at the ways to accelerate the expansion of margin protection tools or similar products. Senator Bozeman's counterpart in the House, Representative G.T. Thompson of Pennsylvania, the ranking member of the House Agriculture Committee, has suggested the creation of Title I margin protection programs for row crops like that of the Dairy Margin Coverage Program.
Okay.
He's seen the benefit of the program for farmers in Pennsylvania and has encouraged consideration of expanding the program. Our current American Farm Bureau policy supports the continuation of a countercyclical program and a revenue program, giving farmers the opportunity to evaluate which programs benefit them the most and to choose which program in which to participate. Again, this is an important issue, ongoing discussion. It's technical stuff, but it's important to the farmers, and something that Brandy has spent some time on, and she explains and lays out the issue. Her full analysis is the first, again, as I mentioned, in the new series we're calling Ag Insider. These are going to be monthly reports from our Commodity and Regulatory Affairs team. They'll be available on the arfb.com website. You can just go down there. There's a drop-down menu at the top. For Arkansas Agriculture, you'll find Commodity and Regulatory Affairs, and that's where you go, and you'll find a link to these reports. This one's going up later today, in fact.
Okay.
So,
nice.
Again, look for them. They'll be linkable on there, and again, it's going to be some good analysis from our experts here on these issues that really matter to farmers and ranchers.
Yeah, so probably not for for the layman, for the general audience.
I mean,
is that
if
what
you're fascinated by that?
Yeah.
But no, this is what our experts are here for, to take a look at these issues that are impacting our farmers and ranchers.
Yeah.
And to get to the heart of that and provide some analysis and context that will help our farmers as we, again, because we're creating policy that has to go up to the national level, and they need to understand these big issues.
Yeah.
And that's what this is just our effort to provide them the tools they need.
Right. Do you have to be a Farm Bureau member to get this Ag Insider?
No, you do not have to be.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go to the website and just access it there, but we encourage you to join because it's now easier. You'll find a nice little button right there on the website.
Right at the top. We'll talk about that in a second. All right. Well, thanks for that. Breaking news, or I guess preview before it is ever live for anybody else. That's good intel. All right, most years Arkansas producers appreciate a dry harvest, but this year those dry conditions are extremely, very extreme across the state, rather. As of this morning, all but a small handful of counties, I think 8 maybe, have issued burn bans, and that number is going up really by the hour, so it could be higher now. The entire state is rated with at least a moderate risk of wildfire. We also reported last week that some areas of the state are in D2, which is severe, and D3, which is extreme, drought stages with no rain in the forecast until next week, and that's just a chance of rain. The dry conditions have also impacted river levels in and around the state, which is having a significant impact on barge traffic. The Arkansas Democrat-Gazette reported this week that the Mississippi River was negative 8.01 feet near Memphis, which is within the 10 lowest river levels in recorded history. Of course, this is impactful. And by the way, that was on Monday.
Wow.
Of course, this is impactful to producers because the river is the largest export channel in the U.S. for grain exports. Low river levels have significantly reduced barge traffic, and in some cases have resulted in vessels being stuck in low spots on the river.
I saw a little graphic today.
Did you? Yeah. No. Please do.
Of the river and all the barges stuck along
that are
the
stuck.
river. It was pretty amazing to see all those X's where the barges are.
Yeah. On Sunday, we came across the Arkansas River at Dardanelle, and that port, there was probably a football field between the first glimpse of water and the port right there. So tough times. The result is, what does all this mean? Obviously, we're talking about low river levels and your point about barges being stuck. Well, the result is a higher price to move grain down the river and inputs up the river with anticipated delays added on. We have to remember we're not just moving grain out of the country, but we're moving inputs in, getting ready for fall storage. USDA's grain transportation report this week noted that shipping rates have been on a steady increase since August, and the St. Louis barge rate is 95% higher than the 5-year average. Don't have it in here, but I'll add it's about 60% higher than this time last year. Our own Chad Hooten, he's out speaking. He spoke to a meteorologist yesterday. I think he's with a producer this afternoon to share more about the impacts of the low river situation. He should have that story up tomorrow, he said. Just really
it's one of those stories
another
that's
challenge.
Just blown up this week. You've seen a lot of coverage of it, and we had to get out there and talk to some farmers about how it's hitting them. And it's fascinating also to get the weather perspective on that and when or if there's going to be any relief. And really, it's going to rely on rain up the river. It's a lot involved here, and it's
a lot like when we talked. I mean, can you believe this is the second time we've covered drought since July on this show? I mean, and that's just, it's crazy that we're back in a D3 drought like we were 2 months ago.
Back then we were talking about the impact that's still being felt by livestock producers, and now we're having issues with just getting it's harvest season, and the timing couldn't be worse for all this. But.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's just been tough. So anyway, keep an eye out. We've got some reporting on this as do other folks, and we'll be bringing that to you in the next day or so. Anyway, let's step away from the news for a minute to learn about our annual Farm Bureau membership.
Arkansas Farm Bureau membership supports our work on behalf of Arkansas farmers, ranchers, and rural communities around the state. From youth leadership programs and academic scholarships to hunger relief and disaster support, and much more. You can make a difference and be a champion for your community. Join today at arfb.com.
Did you know your $40 annual ARFB membership contributes to the work being done in your local community? A good example would be the Women's Committee in Sharp County. They're currently collecting old blue jeans made of cotton for recycling into a second life and keeping textiles out of landfills. Join or renew at arfb.com and start making a difference in your community today, supporting efforts just like that.
You know where we found that information?
Where did we find it?
Someone has been adding Membership Matters Monday.
Oh man, we obviously already butchered this initiative. It's Make It Matter Monday.
Make It Matter Monday.
Yeah, it's all promotion. It's happening before state convention, which theme is Make It Matter. So we're going to showcase people every single Monday that are doing good in Farm Bureau.
Yeah.
Farm Bureau people, local people in their communities making a difference.
So tag us if you're doing any of that, and feel free to use that hashtag Make It Matter.
Yeah,
we'll do. Time to move on a little bit, but I have another interesting survey to talk about. I seem to gravitate toward these surveys.
You do. I like it.
I have a survey radar.
It's the trivia person in you.
Yeah, I guess so. This is from Purdue University, and it's reported on in Successful Farming, the phone survey of farmers and ranchers. It's just part of Purdue's Ag Economy Barometer gauge that I think they do on a monthly basis. It's about the farm economy. This one shows that many are slowly adopting cover crops, but mostly to improve crop yields and soil health. Soil health. Yeah.
Well,
soil health
wherever
too.
you're based at. That's fine.
Soil health and not for climate-related carbon sequestration reasons. Farmers' usage of cover crops appears to be increasing, with 57% of respondents reporting that they use cover crops on at least some of their farmland, wrote agricultural economists James Mentert and Michael Langemeyer. They oversee the barometer at Purdue. A year ago, 52% of producers said they currently planted cover crops, and this year, 26% said they had never used cover crops, which is down slightly from 28% last year.
Wow.
So again, there's an inching up there, but although more farmers said they planted cover crops in 2022, there's a little change from the previous year in the amount of cropland involved. Half of farmers said they sowed cover crops on about 25% or less of their land, and 27% said they had cover crops on up to half of their land. Newcomers with 5 years or less of farming experience were the largest segment, 40% this year versus 48% last year.
Okay.
A combined 70% of growers said they utilize cover crops to improve soil health and reduce erosion. Just 5% chose carbon sequestration when asked for their motivation behind using cover crops. Now, cover crops have gotten a lot of attention as a possible way to earn money from carbon contracts while mitigating climate change. But carbon markets, they're still fairly new, and this summer there was another survey. I think I talked about it here.
Yeah.
Again, love the surveys. About 1% of producers questioned by Purdue said they had a carbon contract.
Yeah.
Now, the common complaint there has been that the payment rates were too low. So still a lot to work out on that end, but right now the slow move toward cover crops is really being motivated by other factors.
Yeah.
The erosion and soil health and those issues.
Yeah. Yeah, the dollars have got to make sense.
But that's just an interesting snapshot and why farmers are doing some of the things they're doing and how they're doing it. But
yeah,
that's
love
what
to
I love
see
about
it.
the surveys. So
love to see it. That's really interesting and interesting to see the growth as well. We covered a story back in winter, the potential for the first that I've heard of, cover crop converted to a cash crop with yellow peas down in DeShay County. So who knows? Well, speaking of crops and harvest and things of that nature, I'm going to round out my day. I guess you probably still have another story here, but the dry weather the dry weather does have its benefits when it comes to harvest season, allowing farmers to get so much done in such a short amount of time. keeping fields clean and rutless. I made that word up for this
nice.
story. Yeah,
sounds great.
Congrats.
Rutless without ruts along the way. Let's get an update on harvest progress. I think we predicted last week that the corn harvest would be complete within a couple weeks, and we're getting there slowly but surely at 93% done, only a 5% increase over this time last week. Almost all cotton bolls are open, so it's a great time to be traveling the east side of the state and the Delta, seeing those seas of white since only 20% have, almost all of it's open and only 20%'s been harvested. Just be respectful if you do get out to take photos there. We're up to 36% of peanut crop dug and 7% harvested. So I want to take back something I've said the past couple of weeks when I said dug was the word used for harvest, but I can't find the difference. I need somebody to tell us.
Dug is when you use
but
a shovel.
USDA is tracking dug separately than harvested, so I really don't know. I'm really confused. I'm questioning everything now.
Maybe Doug's a person.
Yeah, it's also it's a show on Nickelodeon, so we don't know the direction this could take.
Nearly all the rice crop is matured, and 3/4 of it has been harvested. Soybeans are moving right along with over 90% colored and about 75% dropping leaves, with still just 5% harvested. Cotton quality leads the row crop pack with nearly 75% good to excellent. Pasture quality is dismal, as we might expect, with only 15% in good shape as a result of the drought. We'll continue to keep an eye out and report back here. Remember, please give extra time, be extremely patient, and thank a farmer as you travel through the back roads in rural communities of Arkansas this fall.
All right. Thank you for the Doug update.
Yeah, sure. Happy to share.
People are going to think we're so stupid.
Well, I have a few interesting notes as we wrap up today. It was a big week for the Arkansas Century Farm Program. On Monday, the Arkansas Department of Agriculture inducted 37 farms from 25 different counties into the program. The Arkansas Century Farm Program recognizes Arkansas farms that are 10 or more acres and owned by the same family for at least 100 years. It's a great program. Governor Asa Hutchinson and Secretary of Agriculture Wes Ward addressed the families during a special induction ceremony at the state capitol. They were presented with signs which included their farm name and the date they were established. Some of the counties, it was 37 farms. They were, from everywhere from Arkansas County, Baxter County, Benton, Boone, Carroll, Clark, Cleveland. I mean, it's an impressive big list of Century Farms. I think that says a lot about the history of agriculture.
That's so cool.
In Arkansas.
Yeah.
Closer to home, we have a little bit of news, too. Here in our office, we're welcoming a new employee in the Commodity and Regulatory Affairs Department. Tyler Oxner has joined the Federation.
Welcome, Tyler.
Welcome, Tyler.
Hey, that was the last line here. I was going
to my goodness. We took it right out from under you, didn't we?
I don't get to welcome him now, but Tyler.
You're now officially welcomed.
Tyler has joined the Federation as Director of Commodity Activities and Economics. He'll provide economic and regulatory guidance and be the staff coordinator for the organization's aquaculture, forestry, and wheat and feed grains commodity divisions. He's a native of Marvell in Phillips County, where his family still farms. Oxner comes to ARP after working with Scott Agri Crop Marketers, where he helped farmers manage marketing risk while evaluating commodity futures markets. He can give us tips on the commodity markets, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt.
And we have him down here to talk about that sometime, I think. And he helped manage client relationships across 4 states. He also spent 4 years with Rabo Agri-Finance, assisting farmers with their business structure and financial analysis. He holds a master's degree in agricultural economics and an undergraduate degree in agricultural business, both of those from the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
Welcome, Tyler. So there you go.
You got it back.
So glad you welcomed him.
You got it back. Well, cool. Yeah, glad to have him. We've seen him around in a few meetings today or this week, and I know we've already got a headshot for him.
He got thrown right in.
He's in there. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Miss Higgs, do you have any this day in history for us?
I do. Rob, is your brain ready?
I don't know though.
Is your brain fading?
I did so much. I feel like I can only embarrass myself after last time.
I don't think so. Last time was enough for me to go. Enough.
Yeah.
All right.
I actually offered to to grab these things for Jenny today, and she's like, "No, you guys can't see them. You have to
Yeah,
guess."
I was like,
them.
you have to guess.
Like, so she's holding us. She's keeping us honest.
All right, you ready?
Right.
Yeah.
1927. This film, starring Al Jolson, premiered in New York City, introducing the sound era of motion
jazz singer?
pictures. Softball, yeah.
Did he get it?
Jazz singer.
Yeah.
Which I think is like, when I had film class, it's like one of the first things they teach you. It's the first one they introduce
Because
sound.
it had sound.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
so, you know what? Okay. Yes, you are smart, Rob. We get that. All right, here's another one.
I can't pronounce anything, but I can do this.
Yeah.
I feel like I shouldn't say directors or people who star in things, but in 1960, the American adventure film Blank. What, you already know it? I haven't even
No.
said anything.
I thought maybe you were going to leave it at that.
He thought you were telling us the name of the movie was blank.
No. The American adventure film Blank, directed by Stanley Kubrick, had its world premiere, won several Academy Awards, including Best Supporting Actor for Peter Ustinov.
Spartacus?
That is correct.
I don't even play.
I didn't want to say Kirk Douglas, starring Kirk Douglas, because I was like, I'm just going to avoid saying his name.
Yeah.
Because, all right, this one's all right. I'm going to not say a lot about this one. This athlete retired from professional sports saying, I don't have anything else to prove in 1993. I had to make that so vague because...
Well, did Jordan...
That's
Michael
what I
Jordan
was...
retire
Mike,
then
I
and then
think
come
Jordan
back?
was like 95. I guess he could have retired once. That would be my
I'll
guess.
go with
Yes,
his
Michael
first.
Jordan
That
retired in
was my
1993, and he
guess.
came
Yeah.
back in 1995.
Yeah.
All right,
Did he
here we
play
go.
for the Wizards when he came back?
Well, he came back with the Bulls once and won
and then he
some
went and
more.
played baseball.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew he played baseball.
Anyone
in
else watch
Chicago.
Space Jam? Come on.
Oh, my
All right,
goodness.
here's my last one
All right.
because, you know, it is. 1892. Sometimes I think going to the 1800s might be good, but he did guess it. So
Yeah, I don't know.
in
He
1892,
guessed some 17th century stuff
Yeah.
last week.
all right,
So
the English poet, widely regarded as the chief representative of the Victorian age in poetry, blank, died at 83.
See.
yeah, she's just trying to stump you.
All right, what was the year again?
1892, he died at the age of 83 in 1892. The English poet, widely regarded as the chief representative of the Victorian age in poetry.
Yates.
Oh.
Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Tennyson.
Oh, too bad. You saw me say Tennyson. Don't act like you knew that. Don't act like you
You
knew it.
stumped him.
I wouldn't have gotten a poet. The minute I heard you say poet, so I was like, oh.
Well,
Yeah,
but the thing
yeah,
is,
yeah.
Tennyson is a name people study. So, and
Sure.
Lord knows you've pulled a lot of other things out that I didn't think you know. So,
Well, awesome. That wraps up the news for this week. Thanks for following along with the Arkansas AgCast. We're grateful for you taking the time to watch and or listen.
And remember, you can catch the live stream every Thursday, 2 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you set those alerts so you know when we go live. Listen to the audio version later on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, the Arkansas AgCast is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau and hosted by me, Jason Brown.
And me, Rob Anderson.
And our show is produced this week by the one and only Miss Jenny Higgs.
you're welcome.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. Welcome back.